Maria and João's wedding was approaching quickly. Maria, a loving and lively young woman, was excited about the prospect of starting a new life with João, her great love. João, in turn, was a hardworking and dedicated man who would do anything to make Maria happy. The wedding preparations were in full swing. Family and friends were eager to celebrate the couple's union. However, there was one person who was a bit more apprehensive: Mrs. Helena, João's mother. Mrs. Helena was a traditional woman and had always had a somewhat complicated relationship with Maria. She believed that João deserved something better, someone more in line with her expectations. As the big day approached, guests began to send presents to the couple. There were household appliances, furniture, and many other useful items for the new life Maria and João were about to start together. However, one gift caught everyone's attention: an old, rusty car that seemed worthless. The gift came from Mrs. Helena. Instead of a traditional wedding gift, she decided to send an old car that had been sitting in her garage for years. To her, it symbolized what she thought about João and Maria's marriage: a union with no future, doomed to age and rust like that car. When Maria saw the gift, her eyes sparkled. Instead of feeling insulted or humiliated, she saw an opportunity. Maria always had a positive outlook on life and believed that anything, no matter how old or broken, could be restored with love and dedication. She decided that the old car would be her and João's first project as a couple. Instead of complaining, Maria genuinely thanked Mrs. Helena for the gift, saying that the car would be a symbol of the love and patience she and João would have for each other. Mrs. Helena was perplexed by Maria's reaction. She had expected to provoke a crisis, but instead, Maria turned the gift into an opportunity to show her character and her love for João. Chapter 4. The Restoration. With João's support, Maria started working on the car. They spent entire weekends cleaning, fixing, and restoring every part of the vehicle. The restoration process brought them even closer. They laughed, argued, and reconciled, all while working side by side. The old car began to gain new life, just like their relationship. Maria's dedication to the project started to attract the community's attention. Friends and family began to visit to see the progress, and many offered to help. Mrs. Helena, though initially skeptical, started to see Maria in a new light. She saw the patience, dedication, and love Maria had for João, and it made her question her own prejudices. As the car took shape, something changed in Mrs. Helena. She began to realize that her son was happy and that Maria was indeed an extraordinary person. Mrs. Helena began to participate in the project, offering help and even bringing parts that could be useful for the car's restoration. The relationship between Maria and Mrs. Helena began to improve. They got to know each other better and shared stories and experiences. Maria, with her gentle and understanding nature, managed to break down the barriers Mrs. Helena had erected. Mrs. Helena began to see Maria as the perfect daughter-in-law, someone who, despite the challenges, always found a way to turn obstacles into opportunities. Finally, the big day arrived. The car was completely restored, shining like new. Maria and João decided to use the car as part of the wedding celebration. They arrived at the ceremony in the car they had restored together, symbolizing not only their love, but also the journey they had faced to get there. The guests were amazed by the car and the story behind it. Maria and João shared their restoration journey, and many were moved by the dedication and love evident in every detail of the car. Mrs. Helena, who initially tried to sabotage the wedding with the unusual gift, now stood by Maria's side, proud and emotional. The ceremony was beautiful, full of love and emotion. During the vows, João and Maria promised each other not only eternal love, but also the patience and dedication they had demonstrated during the car's restoration. Mrs. Helena, moved, finally accepted Maria as part of the family, recognizing how special she was. The old car, now a fully restored classic, became a symbol of the new family being formed. It represented not only the union of Maria and João, but also the acceptance and love Mrs. Helena finally showed for her daughter-in-law. Chapter 8. The Future. After the wedding, Maria and João continued to live happily, always remembering the lessons they learned during the car's restoration. They faced other challenges over the years, but always remembered that, with patience and love, anything could be overcome. Mrs. Helena became a constant and positive presence in the couple's life. She learned to see beyond her prejudices and to value Maria's qualities. Their relationship flourished, and they became close friends. A few years after the wedding, Maria and João decided to expand their family. The news of Maria's pregnancy brought immense joy to everyone, especially Mrs. Helena, who could hardly wait to become a grandmother. When the baby was born, the family celebrated with new hope and happiness. The old car, now a classic restored, was the vehicle that took Maria and João to the hospital on the day of their first child's birth. The car, which once symbolized a gesture of contempt, was now a symbol of love, hope, and new possibilities. Years later, the story of the old restored car and Maria and João's journey was shared in a local magazine. The story touched many hearts and gained national notoriety. The family was invited to appear on television programs to share their experience. During one of these appearances, a classic car collector became interested in the vehicle and offered a significant amount to buy it. Despite the amount offered, Maria and João decided that the car had an invaluable sentimental value and chose to keep it as a legacy for their children. Maria, João, and Mrs. Helena's story is a powerful reminder that, with love and patience, any situation, no matter how challenging, can become an opportunity for growth and unity. The old car, which once symbolized disdain, became a testament to the power of resilience and true love. If this story touched your heart, leave a like and share. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for more inspiring stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.